Here we have the new 2026 Nissan Altima. Now this one comes in the 2.5 SR trim level with the Midnight Edition package. Super black is the paint, and then we have the charcoal sport interior. The powertrain consists of a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine that's mated to the Xtronic CVT, 188 horsepower, 180 pound-feet of torque. As we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights. The lights aren't dancing, that's just how my camera's picking them up. But I love the Midnight Edition overall. The wheels, the grille, especially in the super black, it's just a clean, clean car. As we come around to these wheels, these are gonna be 19-inch alloy wheels, and I apologize for the wind noise. Passive keyless entry on the front to the door panel here. Rear window lockout, power door lock controls, power mirror controls, your blind spot monitors there. And then you have one-touch up and down windows in the front, regular power windows on the back. There's a look at the door panel, bottle holders, trunk release, and there is the brightness for the gauge cluster, trip meter, gas cap release, hood release, foot pedal parking brake. There's a look at the pedals. Get a manual tilt telescoping steering wheel. And here's the power driver's seat. Now I want to give a huge thanks to John Roberts Nissan here in Manchester, Tennessee for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. Now I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs, so we're gonna check out this space. So very good leg room in the Altima. It's just like I expect in the Camrys, the Accords. Seat back pockets there. Rear AC vents, a USB-C and a USB-A charge port. And there is a look at the front from back here. This middle seat folds down, bottle holders. And there's your grab handle there. Now over here, child locks on either door, lock, unlock. You get rear side mounted airbags as well. There is the fuel cap. And here's the cargo space. Emergency kits in here. And if you lift this up, and then this piece up as well, you have a spare tire underneath there. And you can hit either one of these, we'll pull either one of these to release the back seat so you can fold it flat. Gosh, this wind. But there is a hook you can hang on either side for grocery bags or whatever. And I apologize for the dirt on the car as well. They've been doing construction around here and I don't have a car wash that's close. There's exhaust, a look underneath. And then as we come around to this rear passenger side, once you hit that release, the seat will fold about as flat as it can go. Your top tethers for the car seats are integrated behind the seats themselves. And then your lower latch anchors are behind these covers. So you just slide those off and you can get access. And then your front passenger seat, manual 4-way. Glove compartment. Coming back around to the front, just a quick look in the engine bay. And there's that 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. Now before we hop in the driver's seat, I'm just gonna show off the blinkers. Out of this wind, man, it will not let up. So here we have a nice leather wrap steering wheel here. There's the horn. Over here to the radio, we have AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth. We get that wireless CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility with this newer 12.3-inch screen. We can go through those connections right in there. And then we also have the clock there. And then you can kind of add widgets throughout as well if you want to do that. So your settings are right here. You have your connections, the sounds, all of that. Your general settings, this is where you can change your language. And then your units for the temperature there. It's kind of a look at the audio screen itself. Pretty easy to save presets and all that. So I really like how they make this easy. Backup camera, guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel. There's a look at that. Volume knob here, click there to turn the audio off. Then you have the camera here, and you can go through those display settings. You can adjust those if you want to turn the black level up, turn the tint down, or whatever to really make it work for you. Hazards are down here, and the brightness, you can adjust that on the fly there. Down below, you get your dual zone automatic climate control, so you can adjust temperature for either side, sync, unsync there, adjust fan speed, fan direction, the defrosters. There's a 12 volt below here, and then you have a USB-C and a USB-A that connect directly to the radio. Wireless charging pads down here. Now for the shifter, just hit the brake, pull the lever, reverse, neutral drive. You have that low mode there if you want to use that, the limiter, and then you have the sport mode you can toggle right there in the shifter. Bottle holders, center console cubby space, and then up here, the lights, sunglasses holder, and then you can either tilt or you can slide the roof back. So that's a one-touch slide. And you can close it the same way. Then just look at the back seat from up here. Vanity mirror. And back up front, left side stalk, blinkers, high beams, off. And then you have your auto low beams there. Intermittent wipers are on this side, one time off, intermittent low, high. You can adjust that intermittent frequency there. And then you can pull up for the front fluid. You get these paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, which are nice. You can use those for those simulated shifts through the CVT. And then your volume controls are here. These 4 arrows go through the middle part of your gauge cluster, so you can see the tire pressure monitors, the fuel economy, and all of that. You can go over to these settings, and if you scroll up or down to get to the unit language part, you can change your mileage, and I always do that. You can change your units of measurement for your mileage, your fuel, as well as your tire pressure there, since you can't do it in the infotainment screen. But track lists and radio station presets, you can go through those here. Right side, you have your cruise control. You can turn it on or off. Speed, adjust that, cancel. Voice recognition, Bluetooth. Push button starts down here. And finally, here's the key fob with remote start. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2026 Nissan Altima SR Midnight Edition out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Altima here, I like being able to kind of toggle the sport mode with this button here, and you'll see where that D is right there. When you're in the sport mode, it lets you know, because you get that small little S next to it, which really allows it to move out. I mean, it'll win some races, but it won't win most races, but still, it's nice to have that. But the Midnight Edition package itself, I really like what it does to the looks here. Really think it's worth the money if you like this kind of thing. A lot of Altima buyers don't appreciate the flashiness of the Midnight Edition, but me personally, I like having everything blacked out. I like the wheels. I like how the grille looks with the LED lights. So me personally, if I was in the market for something like this, I'd go and get the Midnight Edition package if money were no option. No object, excuse me. Now this car, as much as it's meant to be like a commuter car, it's not necessarily meant to be quick, fast, it still does quite a bit for the powertrain that it has. It has a 2.5 naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. Paired with this Xtronic CVT, it moves very well for what it is. And the overall driving dynamics I like. It's not overly stiff. It's like on the looser end, but it's not too loose, if that makes sense. It just makes it more comfortable to drive. But in the SR trim, I like that we get this upgraded 12.3-inch screen, which has the wireless CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility. I like having the push button start. I like that we finally get a USB-C port here with the USB-A, so I can use either or, as opposed to some manufacturers are either staying with the USB-As or they're doing all USB-Cs. Nissan kind of knows its customer base, if you will. But the SR trim, one of the reasons I like it so much, the Midnight Edition package is great, but the SR trim with the orange stitching, that really makes a big difference on the sport interior, in my opinion. It just makes it look more expensive in a sense. Love having the sunroof too, but when you're sitting in here, that's what really kind of pops out, gets your attention, is going to be the orange trim. And visibility wise, I mean, the hood slopes down, I can barely see it. The steering wheel, how I have it placed, is perfect over the hump of the dash, so I don't even notice that at all. And then even though the screen is kind of up and out, it's still underneath the hood line, so it's not messing my visibility up at all. And if I were to have to use it as a distraction or whatever, like if I was trying to change the station, it's not like I have to go down here. I can do this while I'm keeping my eyes on the road. Now I'm gonna get the sport mode ready to go here in a minute as I get ready to accelerate getting on the interstate. So I'm gonna put it in a sport mode. I'm gonna try to give it a pull. I won't be able to do a full sprint, but I'm gonna try to get over a lane and punch it if I have the opportunity. Here we go. So not bad in terms of, you know, if you need to pass somebody really quick, get back over, you can do that. I want to give a big thanks once again to John Roberts Nissan here in Manchester, Tennessee, for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. I'm gonna get over because it's kind of bouncy on this side of the interstate. And the wind is starting to pick up quite a bit. But all in all, I mean, you get a nice car here. The powertrain is really, I feel like, I don't want to say where it lacks, but where it's still one of those few cars that hasn't gone all hybrid or hasn't put a turbo in. You just get this naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, and you know, people still like these. They're simple, they're easy, they look good. You can get pretty good financing on them, and that's why they're still selling like they are. Even as the Rogue and the Kicks try to, even the Sentra start to take into the Altima's market share, specifically from other Nissan buyers, I feel like this is still something that a percentage of the population needs. They want something that's a bit bigger on the inside, something that rides a bit better because of the longer wheelbase, and something that isn't necessarily so futuristic. This still feels like a modern car. It just has all of the things that I don't want upgraded, like AC controls aren't in the screen, the volume knobs here. I have standard cruise control. There's a button on my shift knob. I don't have to turn something and then do this if it's in this certain mode, whatever. So a lot of people still miss these kind of cars. They still appreciate these kind of cars over the more futuristic ones. So again, there's still a market for this even at this 33 grand price point. And with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2026 Nissan Altima SR Midnight Edition.